I'm so excited to dive into this topic, how to create and build company culture. This is something that I always get really excited to talk about, and I feel like I rarely get the opportunity to. So we've got a lot to cover. And I wanted to kick us off by reading something that was shared to me this week by a member of my team. This team member has actually been working with me for a decade now, which is just amazing. And she said, a lot of people on Team Boss Babe and those I've talked business with ask what I see myself doing in 5 years. And whichever path this business takes, you'll find me in the inbox or camping out in operations. I'm hardwired into this company in whatever direction we go. Thanks for always supporting me and allowing me to grow into various positions. Here's to the next 5 years. And I just feel like, there are so many aspects to what makes up a company culture. And today I'll dive into what I feel are some of the most important influences. But in many ways, this direct quote from my team member really sums up, for me, what matters at the end of the day. Yes, culture is the personality and the vibe of your company. It's the values, the practices, the environment. But it's so much more than that. It's the feeling your team feels on a Sunday night when they know their Monday morning is approaching. It's the expression on their face when they describe what they do at work to friends, family. It's how they feel about their sense of worth and their value when they think about their contribution. And what's amazing as leaders is we have a direct ways to influence and impact those feelings. Like, isn't that incredible that we can really influence and impact that feeling someone has on a Sunday night before coming to work? We can influence and impact the way that they talk about what they do for a living. So my point of view with building culture and having people working in your business is that your team is critical to building and scaling a successful business. And you also can't have, I don't believe, a thriving team without a supportive culture, right? So there's 3 key areas that I think are really important to focus on when it comes to building that culture. So the first one is how effectively you share your vision. The second is the quality of your leadership team. And the third is the culture of your communication. Okay? So there's 3 things, and I'm going to go into detail on all 3 things in this session. So let's go first into how effectively you share your vision as a leader. And I guess I will start with a question. So have you ever experienced the feeling of just like a total lack of purpose? It doesn't feel great. And when you're in that place, it's really hard to get motivated. You can feel very stagnant. You can feel a lot of, a lack of clarity, a lack of security. It's not quite how you want to describe your company culture, is it? So I want you to consider this. Your team cannot find their purpose within your organization if they do not know where the company is headed. The goals and aspirations that they're working towards, what success looks like, where they play a part, where they directly impact results. They cannot find their purpose within your organization if they don't know where the company is headed. So the first thing that I really want to highlight is communicate your vision regularly. A kickoff and slide deck at the start of the year isn't enough. I think we're all great at that. Okay, it's the beginning of the year. Let's talk about where we're going. But what you really want to do is regularly bring your team back to your vision. Give them what I call the North Star. This is where we're headed. And bonus points if you can make them feel so much a part of it that when you're sharing your vision, they can also, popcorn in with, yes, they're building on it. Yeah, I really see us going here, and I see the things that will unfold. And you really want to be doing it in a way that, they could go and communicate your vision just as well as you to someone that doesn't know you. So I want to encourage you to talk about it a lot more than you think you should. Even if you're like, I do feel like we're doing a good job of bringing people back to our North Star. How frequently are you mentioning that? And even in weekly meetings, when you talk about what this activation is or what this launch is or what metrics we're tracking, bring it back to that North Star, bring it back to, and remember, this is why we are doing it. And the second thing on this that I want to share is make your team part of it. So it's really great if you can encourage dialogue and feedback from your team. So provide opportunities for them to ask questions, share their thoughts, and offer input. When they feel like they help to craft this, they're way more inclined to be personally invested and excited about building momentum. And they'll probably, if you've got the right people on your team, probably bring ideas to you that can make this better. To make the team feel a part of it, you want team to feel safe being part of it and having that dialogue and coming to you. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, because I think it's one of the most important things that you can cultivate. But in this vision section, the third thing that I want to share, which is really, really powerful, is using stories and examples. Make it personal. Weave your story into the vision and illustrate the vision in action. Highlight success stories, testimonials, and like instances where you feel like the team has exemplified the values and the behaviors that are aligned with this vision, or where clients of yours have gotten the transformation that you really want people to achieve through your vision. These kind of stories make it feel so much more tangible, so much more relatable, and also a lot more digestible for your team to see grounded examples of it. For me, my business vision changed a lot when I came back off my maternity leave. And as I was working through figuring out what that North Star was and how I was going to share it with my team, one thing I continue to do is be very transparent about my journey and why I thought that changing up the vision based on some of the things I'd experienced would actually help support our ideal clients, our ideal avatars. And so that's been really helpful in getting my team bought in, because they can really see where this vision comes from. They can see why it's important to me and why it's making an impact for our clients. Okay. So that's the first thing that I really wanted to share with you, is how effectively you share your vision with your team. And if you take anything away from that, I hope it is that you get to share your vision way more often than you currently are. The second thing that I want to touch on is the quality of your leadership team. Now, I recognize not everyone here might have a leadership team. However, as you start to make your first hires or, early hires, you really want to be thinking about all these things that I'm going to be sharing with you, because those early people that you bring onto your team are the people that are helping to shape your culture. Because as we talked about, your team are an integral part of your culture. And if you hire 3 people, your first 3 people that don't align with the culture that you want to create and their values are completely different, this will have a big impact on the kind of culture that is created. Okay. So leadership, maybe to be honest, the one most critical impact and aspect of building your culture. Leadership team is the embodiment of your vision. When you're at a point where you have a leadership team beneath you, they really are the embodiment of your vision. It is really their job to be communicating that vision very clearly with your team and making sure that they are living the values that the culture is talking about. They are also your other team members' source of inspiration, and they set the tone for what excellence looks like, as well as sets the bar for what you're willing to accept as bad behavior, right? They lift the team up when times are tough, but they also challenge the team to grow past their comfort zones and up their game.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.